Well, we've concluded another season in the National Football League. Yesterday was the last day in the season, with that being, of course, Super Bowl XLVII in New Orleans. As a lot of y'all had seen, the Baltimore Ravens bringing back the Lombardi Trophy to Baltimore for the second time in team history by defeating the San Francisco 49ers 34-31. That game was definitely a crazy game from beginning to end, no doubt. Very, very crazy game. And you could say a lot about it, but it was really crazy, no doubt. You can't go wrong. I liked it though. I'll admit that I liked it, but it was crazy. At first, as many of y'all seen, we did not know what the heck was happening with San Francisco. San Francisco just did not show up at all in the beginning in that first half. They really didn't show up. I was gonna make a video, a preview video, the night before, but some stuff came up, so I wasn't able to do that. But I was putting down some points and some keys to victory for both teams, and I kept saying that Baltimore's key to victory is to contain Colin Kaepernick as much as possible. And in that first half, they contained Kaepernick very much and really roughed him up. And they got in his head. They got in, not just Kaepernick's head, but the whole entire 49ers team head. But they did get into Kaepernick's head. Kaepernick just did not have as good of a game, and especially in the first half. Actually threw the first ever interception in 49ers Super Bowl history. It's not a great title to have, but Kaepernick was really he wasn't in his zone in that first half, and he picked it up in the second half though. He really did. He finished 16 for 28 and passed for 302 yards and got a touchdown. But still, Kaepernick, it seemed like that he tried picking himself up, and he did, but he wasn't completely there. His red zone play was not so great, where that's the reason why Jim Harbaugh chose Kaepernick over Alex Smith when Smith went down in the regular season, because he really liked Kaepernick's play in the red zone along with his athleticism. But they really got to, the Baltimore defense really got into Kaepernick's head. But Baltimore, they came to play though. They did come to play in that first half, and then Joe Flacco had a really, really great game. 22 for 33, 287, and 3 touchdowns, no picks at all. He's of course the MVP. People for the longest time has said that Flacco does not deserve to be talked among the elites in the NFL, that he's overrated. Well, hopefully now, people after his performance, not just in this game but in the playoffs, they can just finally put that talk to rest. This guy is a heck of a quarterback and a heck of an athlete and a heck of a football player in the NFL. I've liked the guy since he was a senior at Delaware. He is very, very good, athletic, smart football player, really good quarterback. Baltimore has a great quarterback that they had needed, and they do have him. He's a Super Bowl champion and MVP. Very, very great job. He just did a very, very great job, no doubt. And also one thing, Baltimore, before the lights went out, and I'll get to that in a little bit, but before the lights went out, I tell you what, that team was still going under a fire. They had a fire lit in them still. That 108-yard kick return by Jacoby Jones was so epic. I actually, honest to God truth, I swear to you on this, on my life, right before they were about to kick off for the second half, I said to myself, I'm like, Jacoby Jones is going to return this kick for a touchdown. I'm like, he's going to go up the middle and score this and get a touchdown. And magically, I must have told the future, he ends up and goes and get that 108-yard kick return for a touchdown. I was like, wow, that's crazy. And I gotta say, if it wasn't for that lights going out, the power outage, Oh man, it's hard to tell. I think that power outage was what San Francisco needed. Stupid phone. Ignore that. Anyways. Oh my god, this phone will not shut up. Oh lord, hold on y'all. Alright, sorry, I had to take care of that. Anyways, what I was saying before, San Francisco was lucky that power outage happened. Honestly, if it wasn't for that, it's hard to tell how the score would have went. I think at that point, Baltimore was thriving on big-time momentum, and San Francisco just did not know what the heck to do. They just did not look right. And Baltimore just looked really good at that point. And then all of a sudden the power goes out, which was crazy. I was surprised in a way. I was like, dang, I've never known of a Super Bowl ever have a power outage. But it happened. 34 minutes later, you come back to kickoff, and then San Francisco just came out with a fire lit underneath them, and they just kept playing great football from there. Came back. They came back, and they brought themselves back into contention. And then, they had that 4th and goal play where they thought Jimmy Smith had held Crabtree. And we've been looking at that. It's a possibility. I'm a defensive back, and we've always been said if you're holding on to the guy, if you're holding on to him in any way, when the ball is released, then especially after 5 yards, it's interference or a holding call, most likely interference. Do I think a call should have been made? Should there have been a penalty? Yeah, I think there would have. Would it have changed the outcome of the game? It's just hard to tell. I mean, this is a Super Bowl. In football, you never know. Anything can happen. So it's really, really hard to tell. I mean, one thing, though, whatever's happened. You can't complain about it. And secondly, 49ers shouldn't have been in a situation where they had to, rely on a 4th and goal. They should have picked up their play in the first half. They shouldn't have to fight their way out of a deficit. They shouldn't have, but they had to. Luckily they came back, because if they didn't, this game would have probably been really ugly if it wasn't for that power outage. But I just give you like a few stats and stuff. I tell you one thing though, Frank Gore had a really great game. Now, that was one key point I said that the Ravens need to do for victory, and they have to contain Frank Gore. Frank Gore, they always have him as an underrated back, and he's such a lot more better than what people give him credit for. I've always liked Frank Gore ever since he was in college, and he really played great football yesterday. He played great all-pro football, and they just cannot stop Frank Gore. Baltimore couldn't, especially in the second half. They just had trouble stopping Frank Gore. So, San Francisco, I will say this one thing. San Francisco has nothing to hang their head down about, and made the Super Bowl again. Yeah, it's the first time they ever lost Super Bowl in team history, but let's put it this way, y'all. The way San Francisco is, they have a lot of youth, they have a lot of talent, great skills, great players on both sides of the ball. You cannot ask for a better group of guys on a football team. I guarantee you that you'll see these guys back within the next 5 years or even less, back in the Super Bowl, and it would not surprise me one bit if they were to win it. And, Baltimore, I'm really glad about Baltimore winning. For one, I picked them to win. I picked them to win 24-17. With that being said, also about the score, I was really surprised about the score being so high as it is. I thought it was going to be about a low-scoring affair. I didn't think it would be in the 30s. So that kind of really surprised me. But anyways, I was really glad about Baltimore getting the win. Not just, of course, Ray Lewis retiring, one of my all-time idols in the NFL, him retiring, but also the fact that, Joe Flacco gets his ring, O.J. Brigance, his battle with ALS and a big-time team consultant, of the Baltimore Ravens. You know, he's a part of that championship team. Ed Reed, one of the greatest safeties to ever play the game, in my opinion. A big-time idol of mine. He gets his Super Bowl ring. Anquan Bolden had a monstrous game yesterday. He had a really great game. 6 catches for 104 yards and a touchdown. That was very, very tremendous. And also, Mac Burke, the offensive lineman center, been in the league for 15 years. He finally gets himself a Super Bowl ring. So I'm really, really happy for them. It's a shame for San Francisco. A lot of those players on there, they're going to have to wait another year to have a chance of getting that Lombardi trophy. But, congratulations to Baltimore, and big time props to San Francisco on a great season. I tell you what, I'm excited. I'm very excited for the draft. I'm excited for mini camps and training camp and preseason and kickoff of another season. I can't wait. This is the game I love the most in the world, and it sucks that it's going to be gone for a little bit, but hey, before we know it, we'll be kicking off in September and find out who's going to be playing in Super Bowl 48 this time next year, or actually winning. Anyways, that's all I got to say right now, so give me your thoughts and opinions and on what you think about Super Bowl 47, and that's all I got to say right now. Hopefully have some more videos later in the week. That's the real deal, everyone. Have a great day, and God bless you. Peace.